Hey everyone, and welcome back to the X-Ring. So guys, I'm here with Anthony Marfione, and I promised you guys I would give you some hunting content. And if you guys don't know who Anthony is, he was actually on episode 2 of the Sub MOA 1 Mile Challenge. Tony and I go way back, about 12 years now or so, and we've shot a lot of competitions together, haven't we?
We certainly have. We certainly have.
Well, fortunately, we were able, through some mutual friends, we were able to get some elk tags in Native American land in Oklahoma.
It is it's something else. That's like a miracle.
You ever been elk hunting?
I have not.
Neither have I. So what we needed to do was come up with some rifles that would work well for us for elk hunting. So Tony, what is your choice, and have you done any elk hunting?
You know, I haven't done any elk hunting. Last year I shot I think it was almost a 290-pound mule deer.
Yeah, beautiful picture.
And I took this rifle. It's a 6.5 PRC. It's a build from Proof Research. You know, I have the typical knife force scope that I love to use, but this rifle prints extremely well, and I've had nothing but great luck with it at this point. So I'd like to bring it on that hunt. I'd like to. Yeah. Do
you think 6.5 PRC is a little anemic for elk? Or?
I mean, it could be. I'm not, like I said, I've never shot an elk. I mean, I dropped that muley pretty quickly. Nothing's going to replace a well-placed shot on anything that you do. You know, if I don't bring this one, then I do have the 300 PRC. The 300 PRC, which I absolutely know will do it with a well-placed shot. And it's basically an identical rifle, just chambered in with a longer action, and the 300 PRC.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't caught it yet, big shout out to Hornady. They've always been a big sponsor of the channel. They recently did an episode on what is the best elk cartridge. And while the 6.5 PRC was mentioned, one of the things that kept coming up was 300 PRC and 7 PRC. You guys know that it just came back from that Bergara experience out in Wyoming, and I had a chance to shoot the Bergara. This is the MG LITE. This is in 7 PRC, and we did shoot these out to 1.5 miles.
Nice, yeah.
And I was it's a long ways for sure, but I was very, very unfamiliar with the 7 PRC. And so now this has started me on that path, because I listened to that podcast and I heard it was one of the recommendations for something like an elk. And after talking to John over at Big Game Hunting Podcast, he said I might want to look at something like a CX or a solid copper bullet, because it'll go right through a shoulder bone. So I promised you guys the content, but the reason we're going to do this today is because big shout out to Bergara. I made a decision. I wanted to take this MG LITE on the hunt. I'm going to do a full review of this. This has not had a single round through it. As a matter of fact, what I did was I punched out the bore, I inspected it. Guys, this is one of the most expensive rifles in their lineup. This comes in at $3,150. I'll go over all the specs here in just a minute, but what we're going to do is we're going to put it on paper. I cleaned the bore. There's no rust in it or anything, but it was slightly brown. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so before we get started shooting, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the features of this Bergara MG LITE. This is the Premier Series. Guys, these are all made in Georgia. It does have the Cure carbon barrel that I did review when I was on that Wyoming adventure, that experience with Bergara. It is a very lightweight setup, guys. I don't know how much hiking I'm going to be doing, but we're going to be documenting that entire hunt in October. Not only that, we're also going to be documenting the Native American ceremony of celebrating the life of that animal or animals when we're out there. So it's going to be a very, very unique series, but you can follow us along on this journey as we both attempt to get our first elk. So what I've got on here is I have the Thunder Beast suppressor. I do want to run a suppressor. It is a little bit heavier, but I want that recoil reduction so I can kind of spot that shot. Even though I'm only going to have one shot more than likely, we're not looking at long-range engagements. This is why the 6.5 PRC that Tony's thinking about using is not that big of a concern, because from the guys that we're talking to, they're saying your shot is probably going to be somewhere about 150 yards or in. So the 6.5 PRC with a well-placed shot shouldn't have any issue. So on this Thunder Beast, this is the one that does have the recoil reduction, so it will help with that. I do have a Coltac suppressor cover. This does have the Cure carbon barrel, which is supposed to keep that barrel temp cooler in the chamber. It does have the XLR. This is the Element, and this is a magnesium chassis, so super lightweight. Guys, this chassis by itself is less than 2 pounds, and the way you see this rifle, guys, I'm right at 10 pounds, slightly under, unless I put a bipod on there. It does use the they say AICS pattern, but this is the accurate mag. It is a single stack. This will hold 5 shots, and it does have the Trigger Tech trigger. The only thing that I've changed on it is I've actually, because XLR has always supported the channel, I did put a little gas pedal or a thumb perch on the right side, which really doesn't get in the way, and I think it would be better for me just for the way that I've been shooting lately. As far as the grip, this is a carbon fiber, super lightweight, minimalist, skeletonized carbon fiber grip, as well as the XLR buttstock. It has a carbon fiber cheek riser, carbon fiber, basically your length of pull to, but it's not adjustable. Now, not everything is perfect. I will tell you that I had a huge complaint with this rifle. I am one of those that if I miss a shot or if I'm dealing with a precision rifle, whether it's a hunting rifle or not, I don't want anything loose. And guys, when this hinge mechanism came to me, and this was a brand new rifle, this had a lot of play in it, okay? I mean, a tremendous amount of play. You could move it left, right, and slightly up and down, and I didn't like that. So what I did was actually put a 11 thousandths washer right here and remove the ball detent. So now there is zero play in this. And if you press the button, now I have to physically force this because it's so tight in there, but that's what I wanted. The other thing is, if you're a right-handed grip shooter and you do the thumb on the right side, you are going to inadvertently deploy this. And so if it doesn't have a lot of pressure on it, what's going to happen is the stock is, I've already depressed it there, the stock is actually going to collapse. And if it was so easy to move, that was the problem with it. So I did take the little ball detent out. I can still fold it to be able to remove the bolt to clean it or anything like that, but that was a big issue for me. The chassis does have a level built into it. I've topped it off with Zeiss rings and the Zeiss, the LRP S3. This is not the 636, this is going to be the 4-25. I think it's going to be perfect for hunting, and it's a super lightweight setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using some Hornady ammunition. Big shout out to Hornady. We're going to be, I'm going to probably zero it with the match, but of course I'm going to probably be using the Precision Hunter or the Outfitter CX. I don't have any CX just yet, but I do want to try to use that 160 solid copper. Let's see if this thing shoots. They have a sub MOA guarantee. Now Hornady does advise, anytime you get a brand new rifle, no rounds through it, you need to get about 20 rounds through it before you start seeing the accuracy come in. So let's see if we can get it on paper first. All I've done was a rudimentary bore sight. I don't even know if I can get the paper, but I'll show you guys every shot along the way, along with the velocity that we're getting out of this using the Garmin Zero. All right, so what we're going to use is, just to get it on paper, I've got 180 grain ELD match. I'll get the velocity on this as well as the Precision Hunter. This is probably what I'm going to end up hunting with unless I can get those CXs in. This is the 175 grain ELDX. I do want to give a big shout out to a company called Fulcrum. Guys, they do not have a website, but it is a family-owned business that does rear bags, and this is a small rear bag that has a decent fill, not crazy heavy, not crazy light. He wanted me to give this a try, and I like the shape of it, I like the size of it, and it's got enough weight to where I think it'll work. I think you can reach him on Instagram at x_fulcrum_x, and I'll be using it over the next month or so just to see what I think about it. But it is quality made, and they do all of these in-house, made in the USA, 100%. So with that being said, let me get the Garmin set up, and let's see if we can hit that paper.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to start off on the big shoot and see. It's kind of in the middle. I'm going to start off with 3 rounds so I can get somewhat of an average. You know, there's been a lot of contention about some of the velocities that were posted about this. And my understanding, it was a powder thing. I don't know if this is that ammo. This is actually store-bought ammunition. And like I said, I've got to get it on paper first. This has not been zeroed by any stretch of the imagination. So let me go ahead and get the cant correct on this. I think we're good. And let's see what the recoil's like on this bad boy too. All right. All right, guys, here we go. First shot, shoot and see. Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, so that's what I was afraid of, because like I said, it was just a rudimentary bore sight. We have 2783 for the velocity. Very soft shooting. A little bit difficult of a bolt lift on that after that shot. If I had to guess, I'd say that shot was probably high. I'm not sure. What I'm going to do is, hey Tony, if you look to the left of that target, there is a tree. You can see about half of it.
Yeah.
If you look to the left of that tree, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little stick sticking up out of the ground.
Yeah, I mean, if it's left side of the shooting box, I'm only getting a quarter of that tree with this camera.
Okay, well this will be good. I'll see if I can spot my own shot using this Thunder Beast. I'm going to aim for that little stick. You know, you guys can't see it, but we'll see if I can make this correction based off the miss. Yeah, so we are low. We are low approximately about 2 mils. So that's the beauty of using a suppressor man, that's a hard bolt lift. Using a suppressor that has a brake on it like this Thunder Beast is you can spot your miss even out of a 7 PRC out of this lightweight rifle. 2781 is our velocity. This next one should be pretty darn close to being on paper. It might be a little bit low, but that's okay because I'm just trying to get it zeroed. Here we go. Shoot and see, dead center.
Nope.
Still nothing?
Nothing. Ray, you needed to come over, like I said, about 2 mils, but you needed to come up also about 2 mils.
Yeah, I came up. I don't want to get too much heat in this barrel, guys. 2801. Let me do one more and then I'm going to let it cool. One more, let it cool. This should get us close to the shoot and see. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm not on paper yet. But
I got it on paper.
Wait a minute, I see it.
That
right
is
at about 6 o'clock at the edge of the black.
1 mil low.
Yep.
And we're going to go a 10th right.
Just a 10th.
All right, and that was 27.99. So guys, the average is 27.91 with a standard deviation of 9.2. Now, like I said, this is the match ammunition. It is a rather hard bolt lift. When you lift it, you're not going to work it crazy fast using this match ammo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to re-zero my turrets here in just a second. That way I'm closer to where I need to be. And then we'll resume after this cools off a bit. Okay guys, so you've seen it. Like I've said, I've got one on paper. I made an adjustment. So that's enough with the match. I just don't have enough precision hunter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take 3 rounds out of this. I am going to go ahead, while we're sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and set up the Garmin and get a velocity on this for you. All right, so we got the Garmin set up. Man, I love these Garmins, guys. And we'll see how much difference in velocity we have. I'm hoping it shoots very accurately. What we're going to do is we're just going to, I'm not going to make any adjustment on this target, guys. But what I want to do is try to shoot for group, holding that center. All right, so here we go, shoot and see. There's only one shot on the paper. Here we go. Okay, so just to the right, easy bolt lift, speed of 27.85. So about an inch above it. Guys, remember, we're still within that 20 round range where we need to get it broken in first. You know what? For a hunting rifle, I will absolutely take that. Bolt lift, super easy. And guys, the recoil is non-existent. This feels like a 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm dead serious. I'm very, very impressed with that 7 PRC at this point. Because remember, at Bergara, we didn't have a suppressor with a brake built into it. I think I'm going to leave elevation alone. Yeah, that's good enough. I think it's zeroed. And what we're going to do is, I know it's a little warm right now. It's actually a little hot. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to confirm an impact. I'll take 2 shots. I'm going to go for the bench rest target that's a little low and left of the shoot and see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for the pasty on that shoot and see target. It's in the bottom left. It's the orange one. All right, here we go. Okay, just to the right. So based on that, I'm going to click one more left on a 1/10 of a mil. I think we should be good. So guys, the recoil on this thing is super, super soft. I'm going to let it cool off again. I'm going to let Tony shoot it and tell me what he thinks about the 7 PRC, because it's a hoss of a cartridge. And like I said, ballistically, it's where it's at. All right, Tony, you've never shot a 7 PRC, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so guys, what I'm trying to show not only is the 7 PRC, but also how effective this Thunderbeak, the Thunderbeak, it's a chicken, how effective it is. And we're gonna have Tony shoot at the bench rest target on the right side. It's the top left target. Remember guys, it's a hunting rifle, and it does have a heavier trigger. I haven't messed with any of that stuff.
I'll go ahead and dry fire it a couple times.
Go ahead. And we'll check out the recoil. It's a sexy looking rifle, looks really good.
I like the balance of it too. The maneuverability and just the way that it kind of shoulders up in a hurry and quick.
Yep.
I think for a hunting rifle, this is probably as good as it gets.
Yeah, keep in mind how light it is when you fire that 7 PRC.
No, I know. I just the whole balance of it.
All right.
One more time. Yeah, if you had to get on target pretty quick and take a shot, I think, yeah, just this feel. It's nice and crisp.
Well, like I said, guys, we haven't fine-tuned this. And remember, the accuracy has probably not come in yet. We are shooting Precision Hunter Hornady. So on you, on the bench rest target, right side, top left corner. Center of the circles.
Okay. Oh, dude, really? No way.
6.5 Creedmoor.
At least, if not lighter.
Guys,
That's
this makes all the
extremely
difference.
effective.
What do you think about that can?
Oh my God, that can is great. I've been always an advocate with Thunder Beast, but you know, we've shot them all.
Yeah, we have.
You know, we've shot every single brand and make out there, and you know, those guys at Thunder Beast have never disappointed. I cannot wait to get this can.
Now guys, keep in mind, that's a very thin profile barrel, and us hanging that suppressor on it could affect the accuracy. But let's go ahead and shoot for group. Let's go ahead and shoot 2 more on that same target.
Okay, I'm on it.
Let's see what kind of group she can do. And remember, he did come off the rifle, so it might not be the tightest group, but that's okay.
It's okay. Let's see on that.
Let's check this recoil out from here, guys. Is it within an inch of that last shot, you think?
It's hard to say if it's within an inch, but it's touching the edge of the box at 3 o'clock.
Decently zeroed or no?
Yeah, I'm going to say decently zeroed.
Okay. Give me... I'll tell you what. What we're going to do, before you shoot that shot, go ahead and put your safety on.
Okay.
Let me move the spotting scope for just a second.
You bet.
I'm going to move this down to 200 yards exactly. Guys, there is a 4-inch wide steel called a Skinny Sammy. It's down on the right. Now, I'm not trying to put pressure on Tony because this is going to be a tough shot, especially without having it zeroed. Let me get the spotting scope in place. And we know it's going to drop a little bit because we put approximately 100-yard zero on it. So let's hold about 3/10 high, maybe 4/10.
Yeah.
And he's going to go for Skinny Sammy. At least that's what we call it.
That's what we call it. Okay. Shooter's on it. Quit moving the bench.
Oh yeah, I'm making it difficult. Look at that. I don't think an elk's going to have an issue.
No, I don't think so.
He will have an issue when that bullet hits him. Awesome. Thanks, Tony.
That impact on that Skinny Sammy was dead nuts.
Awesome.
On what you said, you know, just like 3/10 up a little bit, right
Got
in the
it.
fat section.
And so you guys can see down range what that camera's seeing. What we've got is 100 yards where the paper's at, and then way down range, all the way at the back, is 200. We can do 300 by going up in the woods. There's a platform there, but we'll save that for another day, and we'll take this thing out the distance. We already know what it'll do at distance.
I was I'm extremely impressed because, you know, the first impression I got when I took a look at this rifle was, that's going to stomp you a little bit when you shoot it.
Yeah.
But I am impressed because I've been after a, you know.
You're going to get a 7, aren't you?
I am going to get a 7, you bet.
You're going to call proof and order a 7 PRC.
I don't know, this Bergara is pretty darn nice and it's pretty darn lightweight. So, I mean, outside of it, I'm extremely impressed.
Awesome.
You know, and I look forward to seeing what you do after you get it broken in and everything else and playing with some of the rounds. But this will definitely put meat on the table, no doubt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so you have seen every shot that this rifle's done. We fired 10 shots out of here. We can document all of those. There's been no cheating, no anything. This was straight out of the box other than me putting the can on. So I'm actually impressed with it. Is it expensive? Yes. $31.50 is expensive, but you got to look at what you're getting. You're getting a rifle that without the scope, the way that it comes shipped to you in the box, is going to be under 7 pounds. The only other rifles I know that are going to be able to do that would be like the Christensen Arms, the MPR. That's a lightweight one, but I've also seen some, you know, some walking issues with some of their barrels and the carbon, and I wanted carbon for the hunting application. Now, this is not going to be some long trekking hunt. Tony's actually doing one in British Columbia about a month before we do our Oklahoma hunt, and that's a 10-day for him. That's going to be on the hoof, and so having something super light would work well for him, and I think that's why he chooses the proof. But then again, that's a $10,000 rifle with titanium actions and everything else. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that, and so I think this right here would fit the bill really well. Without taking too much more of your time, what I'm going to do is I want to take 2 shots on 125, and I think it's like 130 something. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 2 shots offhand on these little, I think these 6-inch steels, or do you know?
No, they're 4.
They got to be bigger than 4.
4?
No, not the Skinny Sammy. Those other circles, I think they're 6s, maybe.
Okay.
What I'll do is we're going to pretend that we're hunting, and I'm just going to see if I can do it offhand. See if I can just do a snapshot on these. I want to feel the balance of this thing. Oh, that's going to be tough, tough, tough. But here we go. 7 PRC offhand. We don't worry about downrange. We're just going to watch and see what the recoil's like. All right, safety's on. Let's say I see it. We're going to go for the right one first.
Impact.
Impact. Let's go for the second one on the left. Wait for the smoke to clear.
Excellent.
Definitely doable. Offhand shooting, sometimes having something too light can be a detriment, but this is like the perfect balance, perfect weight. There is something I would like to add. If you do order one of these, it does not come with a base. This is a very specific base that is Remington 700 based long action, but it uses the 8x40 screws, the 8-40 screws. So you're not going to be able to use a standard base on that. So what I chose was, I mean, you can go to Sportsman's Warehouse. This had a 20 MOA worn base, and so I just threw it on there. It cost me about $60. But when I originally opened this out of the box, this was going to be a box opening and all, I was like, oh, I don't have a base. So I think this is going to be a great choice, and in my mind, I don't think I'm going to change anything at all. We are taking bows out there if that opportunity presents itself, but you guys know sometimes it can be hard to hunt a herd of elk because you don't have a set of eyes on you. You have a herd of eyes on you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that review. Big shout out to Tony Marfione. Thanks for helping me out on this video. And we've got more stuff coming, and we've actually discussed it. We're gonna film Tony's private collection. He's got an unbelievable machine gun collection that I think you got, and I won't be able to shoot him because of YouTube rules, but we'll be able to talk about him, talk about what some of his favorite pieces are, and I think you guys will be impressed. So we're talking a substantial, very historical collection. So guys, like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you on the next one. Have a good one.